challenges this week. Okay. Can we make our favourite fast foods at home? The Gastronuts taking the fast food challenge with me today are Barney, Rachel, Sophie and Theo.
My dream takeaway meal will probably be pizza, chips, and as a topping, sweet and sour chicken.
The most unhealthy takeaway meal, I think, would be a double kebab.
Coming up on the show today.
The Gastronuts get tongue-tied after seeing what goes into an economy burger. They find out which takeaway is lard of the manor. And am I talking rubbish when I say we can cook pizza in a bin?
Looks quite a nice meal for a week.
That's all coming up later. But first...
Who likes a takeaway?
Me.
Yeah? Everyone loves a takeaway. I love a takeaway. We all love takeaways. What do you like about takeaways?
They're tasty. They've got my favourite foods in.
You don't have to cook them.
It's good for a Friday night when you've been out.
So you're treating yourself, isn't it? What about the bad things?
They're unhealthy. Too greasy.
Do you think that we can make fast food at home?
Yeah.
Can we make fast food in some way better than the fast food joints
Yes.
at home? OK, so first of all, let's order some fast food.
Hello, good evening, Chingwa. How can I help?
Hello, yeah, it's Stefan from Gastronuts here.
Would you like to order?
I would like to have 5 sweet and sour chicken. Yeah, that's good. And 5 egg fried rice with spring onions. That's a number 55 and a 99. Brilliant. OK, thank you very much.
Our order's being taken and the race is on. To wipe the smile off his face, we'll need to make the same thing quicker, cheaper, tastier and healthier than our local takeaway. Start the clock!
Barney, you're in charge. What have we got to do?
We've got to start by cooking the rice, as this will take the longest.
Brilliant. OK, let's go, guys. OK. Right. Somebody find the rice, please. There's ingredients all over here. Which one's the rice?
5 sweet sour chicken, 5 egg fried rice.
Allow 50 grams of rice per person.
Okay, what's the next thing we need to do?
You need to peel and chop onions.
Peel and chop onions. Theo, got any onions there? That's garlic.
None of the Gastronuts have worked in a Chinese takeaway before, so cooking quickly under pressure could be a real challenge.
There's a knife for you.
I'm gonna cut myself.
You cut yourself already?
Yep,
OK.
so I.
Onions, fingers. They don't sound the same and they don't look the same. Come on, guys. We're making sweet and sour, not sweet and sour.
OK, that's all of the peppers and the onions chopped up. Now, I reckon all these things need to be fried, don't they?
Just coming up to 13 minutes. 13 minutes exactly now.
We haven't even got anything frying yet. We're not doing very well. Do you reckon we're going to crack this?
Yes.
The takeaway guys have been here before. Probably every night, in fact. They're not breaking a sweat while we're really struggling to keep up.
Cut the chicken breast into thin slices.
Sweet and sour chicken is one of our favourite takeaways. As well as chicken breast, our version contains carrots, peppers, onions, ginger, chilies, soy sauce and spices. For the sweet and sour sauce, we're using pineapple juice and a sprinkling of brown sugar.
Who break the ginger? 19 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I put that more than rice.
Is there a grater anywhere? Got a grater? That hasn't cooked quite. I'll stuff it. We'll have to go for it.
A tablespoon of white wine vinegar.
A good splash. Hey! Oh, stop there!
The takeaway is in the bag and on the way, but we've got until it arrives and lands on the plate until we call time. It looks like we'll need it.
Another couple of tablespoons of ketchup in there.
Go on, get a squeezer, squeezer!
Bit more, bit more, bit more, bit more! What was the other thing we had? Oh, we've got to make the eggs. We've got to do the egg stuff. Okay, right, okay. I think that we just have to assume is ready.
26 minutes.
Eggs. You got the eggs. Okay, now you need to lightly beat them. You're still on there. Anybody out there yet? Nobody's out there yet, so we're all right.
Chop the foreign coriander.
Oh, yeah. Stir that all through.
Some people are coming up.
Okay, you do that. Okay, so that...
Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything.
Okay,
Just
all right.
stop.
Yeah, thanks, Barney.
That needs a bit more oil.
Half an hour.
Oh, yeah!
All right, you're here. Allowing time to dish up, the takeaway makes it in 28 minutes, 13 seconds.
I think we're there!
Time for the taste test. First up, the takeaway chicken. It was delivered quicker, but will the taste make it the winner dinner?
Everyone got a fork there?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a little try and tell me what you think.
It's very sweet and I think the rice is maybe a bit hard. The chicken's nice, but it's just like squidgy and the rice is a bit hard as well.
Yeah. Do you know what's happened here? This chicken has been covered in batter and deep fried. That's why they managed to do it as quickly as they have.
Not bad, but we could top it.
The takeaway's too sweet for us. And it's deep fried, so less healthy than ours. But will the extra time we took pay off in the taste test?
I hate to say this because it's our cooking, but the chicken is actually a little bit undercooked.
What the heck are you saying? It's spot on. I actually prefer this one. It has all the vegetables, all of that. Lovely.
You sound
Okay.
like a real critic.
That's right, yeah,
You
you're
sound
good.
like a critic.
You're good.
I think it's better than a takeaway because it's not too sweet.
We should start our own takeaway company, mate.
Hey, Gastronuts takeaways.
Yeah.
Super fast. What's extraordinary is that this was so much cheaper than the takeaway. We spent £18.48 on our ingredients, and there are still loads of things like sort of spices and bits and pieces that we can use for other meals. The takeaway cost us £41.50, so this cost less than half the takeaway, which is fantastic.
We know that takeaways can contain some dodgy ingredients, but is there a way we can still have our favourite treats without hurting our health?
Well, there's nothing wrong with having a takeaway every now and then, but you guys are gastronuts, okay? You've got to be choosy about what you eat. Now, who here likes burgers?
Me.
Burgers? You like burgers? Who loves burgers?
Me.
Ah, burgers are great, aren't they? Who knows what goes into a burger?
Me.
What is it?
Meat.
What kind of meat?
Cow.
Beef, yeah. What sort of bit of beef do you reckon it is?
Mint tummy. A
Bit of
leg.
bit of stomach and a bit of leg,
Brain.
bit of brain. The thing is, inside the bun, there are some secrets to be discovered. Would you like to find out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Top meat man Jack O'Shea is going to show us how to make a quarter pounder that isn't to die for.
Hello, Gastronuts. How you doing?
What's up, Jack?
Can you show us what goes into a normal takeaway burger and the sort of burger that you might make?
Yeah, certainly. Come over here with me. You have to eat this raw.
Raw, no.
No, look at this. That is collagen.
College.
So you have it in your body as well. It's the glue that keeps all the animal together.
I hate my body.
If there's too much of this in your burger, it will be very cheap. And that is fat from lamb. That can be all mixed together, and it's all called meat.
So even though it's from different animals, it
Yeah.
can still all be
It's
in a
still
burger.
meat.
And
Very
what's that
nasty.
big fella that's sitting next to it?
That's a tongue.
Oh!
Ugh.
That is massive. Who wants us to hold it? That looks like a whale bit there.
Does it feel strangely like your own tongue,
No.
but on a big scale?
Tongue is smooth.
Not the inside here, but this bit.
That bit, you see, I think my tongue is a little bit like that.
It's got a really tough bit of muscle there.
It's all muscle.
So, the sort of meat you find in a cheap takeaway burger can actually contain lamb fat, cow tongues, and gristle. But once it goes through the mincer, you'd never be able to tell.
So, Jack, can you show us how to go about making your usual takeaway burger?
Right, okay, so now Sophie, can you put some of that beef trim in here for me? Give me some of the lamb fat.
I'm never eating another burger again.
That's the wrong answer. You're going to eat a very good burger in future. Rachel, will you give me some of those beef pieces, please? Because they're also very cheap. It's Theo, will you throw me in some of this sticky, nasty stuff? Oh. Right.
It's quite light coloured, isn't it? There's quite a lot of fat in there.
The beginning of it was all dark, but then it got really light.
Yeah, it's really quite fatty, doesn't it?
But it's all considered meat as well, because it's all from an animal. Now we're going to add some salt and pepper. In the cheaper burgers as well, they put in too much salt because they want to make all that cheap meat taste better than it is. And then we're going to add some of this, the cereals. So that's going to make it more weight. And then you mix it all up.
It feels all slimy, and because there's loads of salt and breadcrumb in there, it feels all lumpy.
So a bit gritty as well.
Now, Theo, I'm going to get you to put in some water, yeah? Put in all that.
So water goes into burgers?
Yeah.
I knew it, but I didn't believe it.
Mix that up.
It feels all squidgy.
And yucky.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to make that into little patties.
That actually looks like a burger, uncooked.
All of a sudden it looks burger-esque, doesn't it?
Economy burgers often contain huge amounts of fat and salt and some rather icky ingredients. Probably worth thinking about the next time you buy a takeaway. We'll see how this one tastes in a bit, but first it's time to up the stakes and make a top-notch burger.
Now we're going to make the proper burger. Look at the difference in this meat. Now you still got fat in here, but fat is not always bad. You need fat, especially at your age. You're running around a lot. You're going to work it off. So look at the difference in the colour of the meat coming out.
That looks like real stuff.
That's like proper mint.
But you know there's another trick too. If you put it through the machine twice, you won't see as much of the white stuff. But as I said to you, it's not bad. We're not going to try and hide anything in our super burgers.
All of the fat, you could easily just take it off.
But if you have it without the fat, it's dry and boring. It's like eating sawdust. You can imagine eating sawdust. Now we're going to put some salt in it, only a little bit because there's so much flavour in properly braised beef.
We're going to put breadcrumbs.
No, we don't put breadcrumbs in our burgers. We put a little bit of white pepper.
It's really squidgy and soft, and it can stick to your hands quite easily. You can see the difference.
Now look at that.
Wow, look at that.
Really different colours,
Yeah.
aren't they?
But I guess the proof really is in the cooking and the eating. So let's go and cook them up. Cheers, Jack.
Bye
Bye-bye.
guys.
It's the moment of truth. First of all, why don't we try the economy burger?
Does actually taste quite nice. That's too much salt.
Actually, exactly like a normal takeaway economy burger, isn't it? Okay, well let's try the Jack burger.
After this one, we have a bit of ketchup with them.
So what's the difference there?
This one is like quite kind of soft, and that one you have to really chew.
And it's really nice. It tastes like more how a burger should be.
So you're about to make your own burgers for lunch. Which one would you choose?
That one.
And Barney would go for the economy one.
If, like Barney, you want to eat a tongue and gristle burger, you can pick one up for about 20p. If you want to eat a good quality burger like Jack's, it'll cost you, coming at a price of 80p. The choice is yours. We're trying to make our favourite fast foods at home. So far, we've made a Chinese cheaper, tastier, healthier, and almost as fast as a takeaway. And we've chowed down on some ground cow. Next, we find out just why you should never eat anything that looks like an elephant's foot. And we see if takeaways really do belong in the bin. We love takeaways because they're fast, they're easy, and they taste good. But that taste comes at a price. We're going to uncover the dark side of our favourite fast foods.
Is coleslaw pretty healthy?
Yes.
I reckon. There's lots of
Yeah,
vegetables in
you
it.
have it in salad.
Yeah, exactly. You got chicken curry, rice, and a nice bit of naan bread.
That looks too
Do
tempting.
you reckon that's good for you? No.
The chicken's good for you. Sauce, not so good for you.
Okay. What have you got there?
A kebab.
Do you like kebabs? I want you to show me, by pouring salt into this here test tube, how much salt you reckon there is in that takeaway food that we all enjoy eating.
It's a bit over there.
Yes, you did.
I would recommend a bit lower than that, I reckon.
No, that's...
Whoa. Okay, now we need to guess how much fat there is. To do that, we need our display tub of lard. Okay.
I would not eat that.
Take as much fat as you think is in that portion of coleslaw and put it on the white plate in front of you.
I can't even look at it.
Each of these blocks is about 5 grams of fat.
To give you an idea, one bag of crisps contains about 2 of these cubes of fat. Eating too much fat can make us overweight and lead to serious health problems.
She's got his...
Oh, no, that's almost more food than there is on the kebab plate. It's time to find out who was right and who was wrong. You were quite enthusiastic with your guess about salt, weren't you?
Yes.
I'd say you kind of did it about 5 times.
Barney's gone way over on his guess, but the truth is still shocking. Something that looks innocent like coleslaw actually contains as much salt as 2.5 bags of crisps. But what about the fat?
Pop that fat next to your little pile there. Were you right or were you wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong.
Again, the guess is way out, but the amount of fat in a portion of coleslaw you get with your fried chicken is still as much as 2 bags of crisps.
Okay, chicken tikka masala. There you go, Sophie. How far off were you?
About double.
So much for the salt. What about the fat?
Pop that on your plate next to your pile of lard.
Incredibly, the curry has the same salt as 9 bags of crisps and the same fat as 6 bags.
Rachel, there's your lard. Were you right or were you wrong?
Wrong.
The kebab has the same fat as 8 bags of crisps. That's as much fat as you should eat in one whole day. But just wait and see how much salt it contains.
Oh my word! That's how much salt is in many doner kebabs.
Unbelievably, just one doner kebab contains, wait for it, as much salt as 40 bags of crisps, which is 3 days worth of salt.
It's been hard work here, so why don't we all have a little drink?
I don't
trust you. No.
Why would you not trust me?
There's salt
All
in
right,
there.
I'll do it first. Have a little sip of that.
Wait.
He's got salt in it.
This is the amount of salt you get in seawater. This salted water is actually less salty than that kebab.
Order these toxic takeaways too often, and you could end up eating hospital food instead.
Yum.
If you think takeaway food is super fast, then just take a look at something that's super cool.
How do we make super cool water? First thing we need is ice. We're then going to take water and we're going to put it into the ice. And then we need ordinary salt. Now what the salt does is something really quite amazing. While it allows the ice to melt, it actually stops it freezing again. And so that means that the temperature just plunges. And you can see it going down lower and lower and lower. So look at how cold this is. Look at the ice on the outside. If we take a bottle out, we can now carefully tap it on the table, and there goes the freezing process. The water is a little bit like a playground of children. You know it's the end of playtime, but they're all still playing, and it takes a whistle or a bell. That's the same as the tap on the bottle to actually get them to all form into line for assembly. That's what's happening.
There are certain things fast food joints can do, but we just can't, because we don't have the same fancy equipment at home. Or do we?
Have you ever seen a wood-burning pizza oven?
No.
In some pizza joints, you get this massive thing made out of clay and bricks, and they feed it for hours and hours with wood to get it up to temperature. It's a nightmare to make, and they cost thousands and thousands of pounds. But I thought, if they can do it, the Gastronuts must be able to do it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Let's do it! I would like to introduce you to the Beast.
Hello, Beast.
This is otherwise known as an IPCD IP. Now,
It's basically a garden incinerator, and EPC DIP means experimental pizza cooking device in progress. It's basically something that you burn compost in your garden. And we've cut a big hole in the front, and we've put some brackets on here. We're going to put a lid on the top of that, we're going to put fire underneath, and hopefully it will get hot enough to cook a pizza. I've never actually done it. Okay, so this really is an absolute first time.
Never succeeded.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you're here to help me. Okay, let's start off with some fire lighters. Barney. The average kitchen oven only goes up to 250 degrees Celsius, which is why proper wood-fired pizza always tastes better than anything you can make at home. But are we really going to be able to get our bin hot enough to cook a proper pizza in?
I don't know how we're going to get the top to 350.
Looks like we're a barbecue.
It's a pizza barbecue.
Pizza barbecue. Now we need some of the bigger logs, guys. Okay, let's put the lid on, put that in there, and put the hat on. So what else do we need for pizzas?
Pizza.
Pizza. While the bin heats up, it's time to knead out our dough. You don't worry about getting messy. Okay, now you need to keep doing that for about 10 or 15 minutes, okay? Wow. So while you're doing that, I'm going to go and rustle us up some drinks.
You're supposed to get messy. Oh, my plaster's come off.
Perfect thing to go with pizza, homemade cola. Now, it sounds quite strange, I know, but you can make sort of passable cola at home. What you need is some lemon peels. You just put it in some water, some orange peel, a little bit of lime peel. You need to take some ginger, just roughly chop it up. That'll do. Pop that in as well. A little bit of star anise. Need to crush it up a bit. That's the fun bit. Pop that in as well. We need some citric acid for a little kind of citrus tang to it. Some lavender. You can probably nick that out of the garden. Then you need some cola nuts. You need to give them a good old crushing. Pop that in, and then you need some cinnamon. A little bit of ground cinnamon. A little bit of ground nutmeg. Oh. And then, just for the colour, a little bit of gravy browning. That's just to make it nice and brown. And then you boil that up for about half an hour, and all the flavour comes out of all the spices. And then you add loads and loads of sugar, dark muscovado sugar and lots of white sugar. And then you strain it off. And when you strain it off, all the gap comes out of it. So you pull all that out, so you don't ever actually get to drink that. And you get left with this sort of cola syrup. That's very, very sugary. What you need to do is pour a bit of that into a bottle. It's very, very thick stuff. And that's like a flavouring. And then you top it up with fizzy water. They'll never know. There we go, I've got you some homemade Gastronuts cola to try later. How are you doing here?
Look at that.
That looks fantastic. OK, so we're going to take a little chunk of this, first of all. Now, roll that one out. As thin as you can. The best pizzas are really, really thin bases because they need to cook super, super quick.
A margherita pizza is traditionally topped with basil, tomato and mozzarella to represent the colours of the Italian flag. It was named after former Queen Margherita, who also had a younger sister called Meat Feast.
So while the oven's getting nice and hot, I thought I'd treat you to my homemade cola. Don't expect it to taste exactly like the cola that you buy in the shops. There we go, pass them along. Cheers.
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 Well done, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, 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 cheers.
Scrumptious.
That's nice.
I think that's delicious.
lovely.
That was so good, you finished the lot.
Yeah, it's lovely.
OK, the oven should be hot enough now, but what you need for putting pizzas in ovens is a special pizza paddle. We haven't got one.
A shovel.
We got a shovel. But it's a very scrupulously clean shovel. Now, first of all, I need some flour. By putting flour on, hopefully, the pizza won't stick to the shovel. That's perfect. Stop there.
Yummy.
There we go.
It is yummy.
Flappy.
Oh,
You broke it.
Slightly destroyed. The more love you give to your
I love you.
pizza, the better it'll taste.
Pizza.
I love you, pizza.
There we go. That's still kind of pizza-like, isn't it? Gastronuts, fingers crossed, please.
Crossed.
OK, this is the tricky bit. Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, slowly.
Nicola.
Well, I did say, I've never tried cooking pizza in a bin before.
Gently
I tell you what,
kiss
can
it.
somebody quickly
Kiss
grab
it.
me the spatula?
Kiss it.
Oh, dear. There we go.
Yay! I said kiss it.
It's sort of in there.
Sort of out of there.
Yeah.
The pizza's looking pretty rubbish, which is kind of what you'd expect to find in a bin.
Yeah, so hopefully...
Starting to sizzle.
It does look
takes
a bit
about-
of a mess, doesn't it?
It looks like a Gastronuts mess.
No, it looks like a gastronut's face.
Yeah, geez.
That'd be me.
Yes. We're cooking pizza in a bin.
Okay, guys, I think it's now or never. Can you pass me the tongs, please?
The trusty tongs.
Getting the pizza into the bin was difficult, but getting it out is surely going to be easy. Right?
You're destroying the pizza! You're breaking the pizza! That isn't love! But that looks like bread.
You shred your pizza.
Meant to love your food. I'm getting the cheesy bit. That looks nice.
It looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it?
Like quite a nice meal for a free.
It looks like it came out of a bin on a shovel. But how does our pizza taste?
Smells like
a
pizza.
Smells like pizza.
Smells like heaven.
Go for it, guys.
That's the one.
It's better than a takeaway pizza. Tastes a little bit smoky as well, like it's just been properly cooked.
There's that kind of real fire sort of sensation to it, where it's been in a proper oven.
The cheese sticks to my teeth.
If you want to make your own pizza oven at home, here's what you'll need to do. Buy one garden incinerator. Cost about 30 quid. Cut a hole in the front to get the pizza in and out. Drill holes and screw in some brackets to support the tray. You'll need to place a special stone inside called, helpfully, a pizza stone. That gets super hot and that actually cooks the pizza. Place some firelighters and some logs in the bottom. You should be able to get these at a DIY or a hardware shop. Wait for half an hour until the bin is really hot. After a bit of trial and error, you should be able to get authentic quality pizza like this that cooks in just 45 seconds.
I wouldn't say that you should never eat fast food. Everyone needs an indulgence every now and then. But what the Gastronuts discovered was when you make all of these things yourself, you can make it quicker, you can make it cheaper, you can make it better for you, and you can make it taste better than the stuff you buy from the takeaways. It's fantastic. But the big thing we discovered is when you make it yourself, you turn it all into an adventure.
If I could tell anyone about takeaways, I'd tell them not to have it regularly because there's so much fat and so much salt in them. Sometimes you think, oh, a bin's for rubbish, but then you cook a pizza in it and it's really weird.
All the fat that goes into a burger, all that stuff is really horrible.
Gastronuts is out of this world.
There's animation galore with an episode of Shaun the Sheep about to begin on the CBBC channel. Then after that, it's the Friday film with a grand day out. Get involved.
No cheese, Gromit. Oh, Gromit, that's it. Cheese. We'll go somewhere where there's cheese.
Wallace and Gromit have a grand day out.
Everybody knows the moon's made of cheese.
Today's Laugh Out Loud Easter treat at 5:15 on the CBBC channel.